Hi, I'm Angela with Qlineshop International and Qlineshop.com. I've spoken to you about our Uno and Segundo, our indoor and outdoor finishing line, as well as Pareo, which is our outdoor, our timber line, which is the Brio, and today I'm going to talk to you about our food safe, our regular oils, natural oils, as well as a few other additional components that we use in woodworking. Our tung oil is a pure tung oil. It is unpolymerized and it's food safe. It's actually the only tung oil that's been approved by the Canadian government to be used in institutions, on butcher blocks, on countertops and so on, bowls and knives and such. It gives a fantastic finish and it's as easy as using our Uno, Segundo and Pareo line. Wipe on, wait a little while, about 10-15 minutes depending on the wood, and then wipe off what has been sweat. You want to always check the wood up to about an hour or two after you've applied our oils to make sure that if there is additional sweating you can wipe it off so it doesn't leave that film or that crust on the surface that you'd have to dilute after. So we have in different formats the tung oil, and then we also have a linseed oil. Our linseed oil is a double boiled pale linseed oil. When I'm trying to iterate the pale linseed oil because a lot of linseed oils actually use darker grains, and this is what will give a darker color to your wood. The linseed oil that we carry actually does not do that. Now, double boiled means that there have been dryers that have been added to it, so I suggest not using it for any food safe areas. Then we also have a hemp oil, and our hemp oil is food safe. For those that don't like to use the tung oil, then they can use a hemp oil. Now, application can be anywhere between, I would say, 3 coats for the tung oil, and you want to wait about 12 hours to 24 hours for it to properly cure. Now, it's unpolymerized, so it won't 100% crystallize in the wood, but that's why it's food safe. Linseed oil, I would say probably 4 to 6 coats to properly get the look that you're looking for, and those who know linseed oil can play around with it and do whatever they'd like to do. Now, the hemp oil, you're going to need quite a few more coats. I'm talking about 8 to 10 coats to get a proper finish, and this too is used for food safe areas. So I would suggest for toys, children's toys, and as I mentioned, butcher blocks, countertops, we can use the Uno and the hemp oil. In our Finico line, we also have our paint stripper. It comes in different formats. It's very easy to use. You brush it on, leave a small film at the surface, and then you want to, as soon as it starts to ripple or bubble up, the paint, the varnish, or the lacquer that you're trying to remove, you can easily just scrape it off. Now, it's used for all types of different utilizations. Basically, you can remove grout, you can remove, as I mentioned, paint, varnish, milk paint. We've seen it used on as well. It may take several applications, but you just give it the time that it needs to work through, and then you're ready to start recoating your piece. Another thing that a lot of people are using is something called the bitumen of Judea. It's basically a powder. And what this is used for, it's for coloring wood, so it gives it a really nice antiquing. So you can color your wood grain. If we have a beautiful oak, let's say, and you want to keep the oak basically at the surface, you want to keep it the nice red or the nice white that it is, but you want to fill the grain with a bit of an antiquing look. You can add the bitumen of Judea to an oil and then basically just rub it on, rub it in the grain in circular motion, and then you want to scrape off the excess. So what it's doing, it's basically filling the grain with a little bit of an antiquing, I guess, look to it. Now it adheres to stone, to wood, and to metal. So you can use it on slate, you can use it on a lot of people are using it to antique hardware, which if you have a beautiful brass finish and you want to make it look antique to change or to restore a nice piece of furniture, this would definitely be the perfect product to use. we have our citrus thinner, which basically is a D-limonene, and it's a pure extract from the rind of an orange. So it basically smells as if you could drink it, but I highly suggest not to, please. It comes in several formats, and it is fantastic to use. Other than that, we also have an odorless thinner. Now, the odorless thinner is exactly that. It's 100% highly refined isoparaffin. It's what we find in our Uno, Segundo, Pareo, and Brio lines. So if you need to thin those down to spray them, then I highly suggest using this. When I say it's odorless, I mean exactly that. It has a very, very faint odor, if any. So it's easy, you can use it in areas, or if you're very susceptible to smells, then this would be a perfect thinner to use. If you want something that is a little bit more aggressive, like this citrus thinner, but has a little bit less of the smell, then we have one that's in between. It's the low odor thinner. So you have everything that you need to get the job done. For more information on our wood finishing products, visit us at www.Qlineshop.com. Use promo code WOODFINISHING for additional discounts.